Coach Teeden, we're back. What's up, man?
We are, man, and we're doing some good things, man. The YouTube video came out really good. I was concerned about our looks, and we haven't got any complaints yet, so that's a good thing, man. So things are on the up and up with us, I feel.
You like it? It was a little tedious.
Maybe on your end, yeah, I guess. On mine, it wasn't that bad. So
Well, Billy, why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest this evening?
yeah, this is a guy I'm excited to have on. We haven't had a high school guy on in a while. We have Mike Blicher here from Santa Fe Catholic over in Polk County. Has done an amazing job over there. They just wrapped up an amazing season, finished in the state championship game, had an amazing state semifinal win. Watched that game, and I'm texting him while he's playing. I'm just, telling him what awesome job and tape played out of his mind. But we're excited to have Mike. Mike, welcome, brother.
Appreciate you guys having me. Absolutely excited to be here.
Where are you?
Yeah, he's like in his office, I think, man. That's what he
I am
constantly does.
at the school in the office.
Gee whiz. Did you have to get away? Is that what happened?
I actually have two kids that are going to bed right now and a wife that's going to bed right now. So this was best case scenario.
Yeah, I understand that.
Well, we're pretty pumped, man. And I tried to find it. I couldn't, but I know a few years back I reached out to you with just questions about your graphics. And little did I know, like, the amazing job that you've done there. So we're really pumped to dive into it. So let's go ahead and get going, Coach. How are you wired?
I like to say just competitive. I've always been wired to just compete at every level. When I was playing, now that I'm coaching, sometimes I get caught up in the competitiveness. I think like a lot of us do. I was listening to your guys' episode with Coach Cups, and he was talking about how at the beginning it was all about wins. And I think I still struggle with that. And I'm not at the beginning of my career, but it's one of those things where I'm just find a way to win, but also let's make sure we're taking care of our guys, make sure we're getting them to the next level, make sure we're developing men is what our goal is, obviously. But let's win too while we're at it. It is a game.
Your competition like seeps through with your animation on the sidelines. I love it. So like, do you ever like think back like, man, I gotta hold it back a little bit, or are you just letting it rip during the games?
I mean, absolutely. After the game, I think I should have held it back several times here and there. I think that's a process that I'm going through all the time on when is too much and how often did I cross that line. But at the same time, I tell our guys all the time, be all in, no matter where you're at, be all in where your feet are. And I don't think they can question very often if I'm all in or
I love that. They definitely feed off of that. Logan wanted me to ask you. He said he wanted to know because he vividly remembers when we played at your place and you ripped a guy on the sideline on your own team. That something about a video game. Like, did you learn how to play that on 2K or something like that? And like he just I don't know, do you remember doing anything like that? Do you remember referencing video games to your guys? I don't know.
I often said, don't want to play a video game. Can you please, think for yourself, act for yourself? But at the same time, most of the time when I'm ripping them, they're normally our best players, kids I've had in the gym for years. So the relationship's there, which I don't think many people truly understand. But at the same time, perception's reality. So maybe I need to chill out a little bit here and there.
No, no, I loved it. That was a lasting memory for him. Mike, can you tell us some of your mentors that helped develop you? And is there anybody you currently lean on?
Absolutely. First off, my dad from the very start of my life, he took over full fledged when my mom kind of flaked out when I was one. So he was just rock solid for me throughout my entire life. Still to this day, I still get a couple calls a week, just impressing in, telling me to keep going, telling me to keep loving on kids, stuff like that. And then in basketball world, I had the privilege of playing for Hall of Fame coach who just passed away last summer, actually, Dan Fife up in Clarkston, Michigan. He coached, I think, for 38 years at his alma mater at Clarkston after playing at Michigan, and he was no nonsense. Literally, I don't remember watching film of another team talking about another team's personnel. It was about us. What do we need to do? How can we compete to win? And so I take a lot of that. And then when I played in college at Aquinas College up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, I played for two guys, Rick Albro and Dave Hammer. Rick was unbelievable in terms of relationship. And as good as a Coach Fife was, it wasn't really relationship all the time, whereas Coach Albro was relationship first and foremost. He would rather have a great relationship than any win, which is a great concept that was relatively new to me, to be honest. And then Coach Hammer, just the way that he prepared us for every game, his adjustments at halftime, he was just so prepared. And that was the first time I'd seen it from not just us being prepared, but being prepared for what the other teams were doing. So I had three phenomenal coaches in that high school, college, and so I just try to steal everything I can from them, lean on everything that they taught me. And now it's just the relationships that you build as a high school coach with all your local guys. I mean, I probably call Coach McGriff once every 2 weeks just because he knows it. I literally think he knows everything when it comes to off the court, on the court, all that stuff. Fitz and I are talking a couple times a week, bouncing questions off of him. And then as I get to meet other coaches, I'm just constantly asking for help, asking for ideas, communicating with them. Everybody sees it as competitive, competitive, competitive. But at the same time, we all want to just try and do a really good job for our guys. And so I'm just learning, 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 and that's where we're at right now so far. Learning. I mean, I was listening to guys' podcast with Coach Cups, and I'm like ready to write some stuff down. I'm ready to buy his book and all that stuff because I was just learning right then and there on what we got to do to define roles and whatnot.
That's yeah. And the hard thing is, I think a lot of people don't understand, especially in the world we're living in, the dynamic is that you don't have to tear people down to be as good as you can be. And I think that that's the world we live in now. And oh, don't go play there. He's not going to do XYZ. And don't go here. Come play for me because I'll do these things, but don't play for him because he won't. It's just a weird world in that capacity. But I want to ask you, Coach, because this is something that I'm constantly striving to do, and I can tell you're doing a good job with it. But I think the relationship thing is always it's a tough thing to navigate in terms of the world we live in, where you want your kids to come see you every day, your players to come see you, but there's a few that don't. And building those relationships, give us an idea of what you're doing to have those relationships that are so strong.
So last year, 9 out of our 10 guys on that state runner up team had come to some sort of camp that we had before they were in high school. So I get the opportunity because we private school, I get a lot of extra gym time. I don't have to jump through a bunch of hoops to do my camps, do my trainings. So we have 35 plus kids every Sunday night for 2 hours coming in. And a lot of those kids will probably end up coming to Santa Fe at some point. It's one of those things where we had one kid transfer in this year that I have all these pictures on my phone when he was a little camper. It's like they don't come here because I'm asking them to come. They come here because they already know there's a relationship in place, and hey, they're also playing pretty good basketball and they work pretty hard at this. Let's go there. And so a lot of the kids that we've had come in, even if they didn't come in as freshmen, because there was a financial piece and stuff like that, it just might not be the perfect situation for everybody right away. Is they come over because they've been in the gym before through our camps, through our trainings, and then just every day, the daily workouts in the morning. We were in the gym at 6 a.m. this morning for breakfast club, just catching up with everybody because I hadn't actually seen them on Monday and Tuesday besides the golfers because I'm a assistant golf coach this year. So I get to go golf with a couple of the guys. Hopefully Toby makes the team. So I just constantly finding ways to connect on their level, whether it's why I wear Jordans, something to talk about with kids. What like talk if we're doing a fantasy football league, doing March Madness bracket stuff, constantly staying connected with these kids, and then when they leave, I want them to want to come back, want to have that relationship, and be proud of what they did here.
I love that answer. You've kind of to carry on with that with your success. I feel like camps and that culture that you started there with the Breakfast Club and those types of things have kind of helped you build that culture at Santa Fe. Can you kind of describe it as well, like what you're trying to really achieve with your, I know culture is a buzzword, but just what you feel like what your program represents at Santa Fe.
Yeah, I'm not a huge the culture. It's not something we talk about. We just talk about the guys working. And we do the corny the work works and stuff like that. We'll do that on posts and whatnot. But the Breakfast Club wasn't my idea. It was, hey, how can we get in the gym more often? Trey Lane, Johnny Torrance, both of them played college last year. They wanted to come in early. They're like, Coach, it's too hard to get back after school, after volleyball. Let's just start it early. And so it started with two kids coming in. I think they made me come every morning that fall. And we came in, just got up shots, did some work, stuff like that. And now it's, hey, I asked the seniors, the captains, are we doing Breakfast Club this year? They say absolutely. So they put together this, they helped me put together the fall schedule. I would love to sleep in. I think that would be a great concept, sleep, but apparently they're going to bed because they come in and they're ready to work and they're pretty good in the morning. So it's one of those things where we built on what the guys wanted. They want more. They want to do more things. They want to play more fall games. They want to play more summer games. Let's do it.
So I got to ask you, because how old are your kids?
I've got a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old.
All right, me and you, we're right there lined up. How do you balance those things? Because that's, I know, like for me, like I'm making breakfasts and I'm doing all those things. Like, how does that work in your house?
A lot of sorries and a lot of thank yous is normally the start. But really, I mean, it's one of those where I'll take Wednesday and Friday breakfast club. My assistant takes Mondays right now. He's taking Tuesdays after school. I'm taking Thursdays, and then I do the weekend stuff. Trying to find balance with my staff, which I might, in the past 9 years, have the smallest staff in the state. And the fact that I think I had two coaches on my bench for a state championship game. But I mean, also just talking with my wife, I lay it out every time. Hey, this is our full fall schedule. Cross off what you need me to be home for, what you need me to do. Last night, yesterday, I didn't do stuff after school, so I'm picking my daughter up, taking her to a volleyball training lesson, making sure dinner's taken care of. When I'm there, I'm all in there too at home to make sure she knows. But yes, it is definitely a tough balance. It's one of those things that I often talk with because I've tried to hire other coaches and stuff like that, but if you're young and you've got a young kid, I think it's even harder. 9 and 12 are functional. They can come in the gym at any time with me. You got a baby at home. You need to be you need to be home with the
Yeah, no doubt.
I was gonna say and I think your wife's pretty involved too, though. Is it? I mean, she's
she'll
pretty
be
active.
there. She'll be there in the summertime for once in a while. She got pretty caught up in the playoff run and stuff like that. She was all excited for that. But for the most part, it was just when kids have bedtimes, those early bedtimes, it's hard to be around at all. So for the first like 6 or 7 years, I'm not sure she went to more than one game a year. Last couple years, my kids wanted to be there. My daughter likes to hang out with the cheerleaders, likes to do the round off, all that stuff at halftime that they let her do that she probably shouldn't be doing on hard court.
Coach, are you gonna be a cheer dad? I mean, is that in the future here?
So we're transitioning from gymnastics to
Man,
volleyball right now. I'm feeling very happy with this situation right now.
okay.
My son put it this way,
Because you might
like
have to do more camps. I'm just
well,
telling you, like,
she's a really good athlete, and my son understands it that she's finally playing a real team sport. We're all excited right now. But yes, we'll be doing some basketball, volleyball combinations if that's what I have to do.
love that. So, coach, what's the fall look like for you guys? I know the season, you know, gets on us quick. What is the fall workouts for you guys? I know you got the trainings
Yeah.
but do you guys play any games? How does that look for you?
Yeah, we'll play almost every other weekend. Like we play Bartow this weekend, 2 days. Normally, I like to keep it 1 day, keep that Sunday free for the guys. They gotta be high schoolers too. But we're Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, we're Breakfast Club. Tuesday, Thursday, we're agility plyos along with some weight room. And then most of our older guys get at least one other weight room day on their own. And then just lots of, okay, hey, can I get in the gym tonight? Sure, volleyball's out. So we get them in the gym when they need to. But then I'm also doing a couple of trainings during the week. So that lets Toby get in the gym with some other young kids. So he's selling his merch, making a little extra money, stuff like that. Just building and having fun with it.
I'll say, do you focus on something specific, like offensively or defensively in the fall? Like, do you try to like focus on maybe your offensive actions, or maybe you're going to try something defensively? Do you kind of throw that in there in the fall, or how do you approach that?
100% all offense in the fall. It's so they come to us. They were awesome in June. we came together as a team. Then they all go their separate ways for the most part in July. And it's hard when they come back and there's one ball and there's 5 kids that all scored a lot all July for the most part. So we're trying to just get spacing. We're trying to get good action. I'm really contemplating some Princeton action to help the transition for when we lose Toby in a year to graduation. It's one of those things where just trying to run through some things. I went and watched Chattanooga's practice and workouts when so I could see Tate, see how he was doing, and just how fast they play in their Princeton with pace. It's fun. So contemplating some of that too. So I'll try it out, kind of throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, but also just get these guys to share the ball every day.
Yeah,
If
that's
they
hard
sh-
to
if
do.
they share it if they share it at 7 a.m., they'll share it at 7:30 p.m. when the season starts.
Coach, are you the strength coach too, or do you guys have somebody that helps you with that?
I have some help. I have some help that puts together plans. I will self-admittedly tell the guys the weight room is my least favorite place in the world. It's the place I did a lot of slam dunks on pull-up bars, and that's about it. So normally I get help. There's a guy that runs Vital Fitness in our area, Connor Custodio, that is an alum that has done some workouts for us in the past and stuff like that.
As I tell our guys, weights are heavy. They work though. They work.
Yes, they
So
work.
so let's move on now. So you got your whole team in front of you. When we come to a practice, we come visit you. What are we going to feel? What are we going to see? How do you want it to be?
It always starts with a lot of developmental. I mean, it's gonna be basic at times, but then it's gonna go right into live reps where we're finishing one on one, we're finishing on 2 on 1. Lot of reps, reps, reps. You won't see standing around very much. I like to get all 6 hoops working, whether it's at 6 a.m. or a regular practice during the season. They are on the gym and they're being on the court with the ball being active. I mean, I don't even let them do dynamics without a basketball. If they've got to run a 16th, they gotta run and get a basketball. We dribble every time we're running. Like, I'm just all about develop. And then it's competitive. Then they absolutely have to compete at everything. You got your old school shell drill. That was a Coach Five staple. 3-on-2 the chaser, get in it, playing with pace. I mean, we're gonna compete. We're gonna find ways to compete. And then when we're running our action, I think one thing that has really helped our development for our young guys is our JV guys are with our varsity guys year round. And in every practice, we've got our first five, our second five, and then that third five is JV guys. And they're gonna get beat up mentally, physically throughout the year. But I have seen huge progress over the last couple classes because my first few years, we just didn't have a JV team that was feeding. I mean, unfortunately, we were very shallow through 2020. I think we dressed 7 guys in a regional final game, and then after that, it was transfer city because of the COVID and private school. Everybody thought they had to play at a private school, so we got a bunch of transfers that year, but then it was like, "All right, how are we gonna be a sustainable program?" And it was having young guys come in and really developing them, and so that's what we've done the last few years. And I think it's just live reps versus varsity guys teaches them the need for one, the weight room, the toughness, but also just the speed and the decision making. The more they do that, they rapidly improve. And so that's kind of really helped us. And that's what you'll see every single day, whether it is a breakfast club or regular practice. They are getting the reps in, and then we're competing.
What do you say your split is spending time offense, defense?
Everything's the same. If I could, and we're trying to, if we're live, we're everything can be focused on. And I mean, I think I forget who was talking about it. About if we nitpick at everything, we'll drive ourselves crazy. Well, I'm driving myself crazy probably every practice because there's defense that needs to be talked about and addressed. There's offense that needs to be talked about and addressed. But once they understand what we're trying to do offensively, then defensively, I think so much of that at the high school level is scouting report. They have to understand that every kid is probably going to be a little different, but the number one thing is you have to play hard. And if we play hard, we can cover up a lot of mistakes. And I think our kids have done that the past couple years, especially. I think the way that Kobe competes every single day really sets the tone for the whole practice, the whole program, to be honest.
No doubt, and that's why he's the floor general. I've watched you guys play quite a bit, and you guys haven't been the biggest. Obviously, you have some undersized. You're undersized at the point guard position. You don't really have a true big, so to speak. But defensively, you never seem to get beat in the low post area, and you guys switched everything. Talk about that philosophy and where you came about and why you decided, hey, we're just going to switch everything and play the way you guys played.
It's unfortunately probably just because kids just won't communicate the level we want them to communicate, the level that pros and college players communicate. So when you have a kid that communicates, it makes things a lot easier. Tate and Toby, they could communicate, made everything easy for everything. However, when you are switching everything, it keeps you in position. I mean, basic of basketball. Stay between your man and the hoop. Stay between the ball and your hoop. So we can constantly stay there. And then if we switch, we front the post almost all the time. So it doesn't matter if you're the big or the small, you're going to be fronting. So we already have backside help ready to go regardless. So it's just kind of an understanding of the midline, backside help, just keeping it real basic and not trying to, hey, we're gonna three-quarter this one but not this one, which you can do in the playoffs because I think you get a little more time to prepare. They're kind of more locked in naturally because it really matters. But during the year, like let's do what we do really well, play hard, and everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah, and if everybody has to do X, Y, and Z, then they should be good at it, right? And then there's no question mark about, oh, you're fronting, but you're not, or you're siding and you're playing backside, left shoulder, whatever it is. So if everybody's doing it, then everybody's doing it. Like that's you better do it to the best of your ability. Speaking of, so roles, what size are your teams? 10-10? How many? Like, what are we looking at a practice when you talk about having both those teams there?
So I've had as small as 8-8. Last couple years, it's been like 10-9, 10-10. But the last couple on JV are they're on JV with they get a jersey and they're kind of good with that. So
Enjoy
they're
the
not necessarily,
experience.
yeah, they're not necessarily fully involved at all the practices. So when we're dealing out with everything, we'll mix them up quite a bit early on so that old is playing with young, all that stuff. But then once we get into it and we're 5-5-5, they'll have a sub or two on each of those teams, and just kind of getting them real reps.
So it's kind of easy when you have a Division 1 player and a really a couple talented players or whatever it is. But when you're looking at some of your guys, how are you communicating the different roles? So you're not one of those guys. We need you to do this part of the game or different things like that. Or you're just not going to be one that plays very much right now. How are you communicating that with your kids?
I very direct, very direct. I'm an open book. I don't think there's any confusion on where I stand with these kids all the time. But at the same time, in the fall, let's see what you want to be. Let's see what you could be in the summertime. For the most part, besides those 2 live periods, let's see what you want to be. Let's see what you could be. Stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm around these kids. I mean, it's almost 12 months out of the year, so we're working on things that they need to work on. We're talking with like, hey, you're really good when you do this. I mean, I'm going to reference it again, but Coach Cups, you're going to get a lot of clicks on that other podcast. But when he was talking about how he has each kid talk about the 2 strengths, 1 weakness for every kid on the team, and then they really define roles out. I mean, I'm already an open book, but that I feel like even helps the kids even more because I think they hear it from the peers, but maybe they don't hear it directly enough. So if the peers are helping define the roles, they'll probably be more accepting of it. So I'm definitely stealing that, using that this year.
No doubt, as long as that space, because what I find with kids, man, especially during tryout time, you got kids coming to try out and they're talking to varsity players and they're saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna come out." I'm like, not telling them, I'm like, "Why are you letting this kid come out? Like, tell him he has no business coming out and trying out at all. So as long as you're facilitating a space where these kids are honest and they're able to do that. Because what I find is that some kids still have a tough time, telling a kid, "Hey man, you're not a good three-point shooter. Stop shooting it." You know what I mean? And it's a hard conversation, but it definitely has to be had. And when you hear it from your peer, it definitely goes a lot better way, I guess.
I think it helps that we're at a smaller school. We don't get the randoms trying out.
Right.
We'll get that for JV, and we have a do a separate JV, and I try not to cut any of those kids because we just don't have the numbers to really justify it. But they understand. They come to a practice or two. They kinda say soccer might be the plan for me in the winter, and I wish them well.
I love it. Do you use anything like any shooting contest to say, "Hey, you're gonna be a green light shooter." Is anything like that you use to maybe give them a goal? Say, "Hey, man," or it's all about sight, and I've
And to
seen
be
you.
honest, we're a great shot, good shot. If it's a good shot, we're gonna get it up. I'd rather them shoot than turn it over. We've got a chance at an offensive rebound regardless of how small we are, because nobody's boxing out these days. So just let's shoot good shots, and if we can get great shots, let's get great shots. And we just all shoot so many shots. If you just watch us warm up, I mean, they get more shots than a lot of kids get in their practices and just in our warm-ups before games with our T attacks and our triangles, which is all just catch and shoot, catch and shoot. I think Coach Hurley the other day, I was watching a video of him, and he's like, 80% of your shots are catch and shoots. So why are we really practicing everything else all the time?
Yeah, no doubt. Coach, I need your help with something, and like you said, your staff's small, so maybe you can speak on it for your side, or you can say, "Hey, I've heard some other guys do this," or we can just keep looking for it. But I feel, and Doug Lamov said this when we talked to him, assistants are underutilized. And I know for me, like right now, I am constantly saying, like, what do I have this guy do? What can I have this guy do? What can I have this guy do? When they're volunteers, when they have real jobs, they're not on the campus and bought in and with the kids all the time. How do you get your coaching staff organized? Do you have coordinators? Do you have scout guys? Like how do you do it?
So I've literally had one assistant coach that showed up for 9 years to almost all the practices. Rarely do we have another guy. So he is actually the mental health coach. He is the academic coach that all the teachers go to when they have any issues or whatever, which last year I think our average GPA was over 3.5. So I don't think that was an issue last year, especially with our nerds like Tate 4.2. So he was the mental coach, academic coordinator. He was our stat guy on the bench. He get all the volunteers for the concession stand. He made sure I had somebody on the video. So he did more than just about any assistant coach in America, Aubrey McKay, my guy. So now that I actually have two guys that are getting fingerprinted this week that are going to come help. And that is literally one of the things I'm starting to talk with Coach McKay about. Hey, what do you want to delegate? I know what I can delegate, but what do you want to delegate first? And and then we'll go from there. I mean, Coach McKay was my JV coach too last year. Like he's bounced back and forth a couple times. So he did everything. He probably should have won any award that was available for assistant coach in the state of Florida. But if I have more guys, we've already started to talk about the other guys about just, I mean, to be honest, you know what I want the most help with is the stuff that I already do a lot of, but would love to get it taken off my plate, the social media. Show these guys love. That is literally a love language we have with our guys more so now than ever before. If we can show them love, and I'm not talking about the fake love, just simple posts. We don't have to declare them the greatest thing ever, but we can show them love by just making consistent posts with our team mix, even if it's just little highlights from practice, stuff like that. These kids eat that up. Like it doesn't mean much to us as old guys that are on social media just consuming information. We don't need our pictures up there and stuff like that. These guys love that. So why can't we do that more if I can get help? So that's one of the things I'm definitely going to delegate.
It's so true too. Like, I remember doing the countdown last year, and all my guys were like waiting to see, okay, oh, I know my number is coming up. I was number 23
Mhm.
last year, so 23 days till first day. So they knew, and it's like, to me, it was like, it was more tedious, but it definitely, for them, it was awesome.
Yep.
But it's a great point.
How do you do the little videos? Like what is your process on that? Like that well, our old football coach was amazing. Every kid on our football team, the guy Robert Weiner. Now I don't know how much teaching he did and different things like that. So I'm not going to get into that. But me neither. Like I can't say like I'm over here winning awards, but like he just kept I mean, I know you can do it like dumping buckets and things like you're like, all right, Toby bucket or tape bucket or like I know there's different, but how do you do it? Like it's crazy how much you're throwing out there.
So my wife goes to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. I go to bed around midnight to 1 o'clock. I have a lot of alone time on the couch. So we're just screenshotting. We also had Jake Free filmed it for the past 4 years, just follow everything we did. So he just had just an unbelievable amount of video clips. It was just hard for him to get him to me. So, but when he gets me something, I'm using the same stuff over and over and over. I'm just trying to do it in different formats, put in a picture but in front of it just to make it look different, stuff like that. And just trying to be 2 to 3 posts a week, just so and collabing with these kids so that they can just start to grow a following. I mean, even like Toby's brother, Trey Lane. I mean, he's got a Portillo's deal in Tampa, and he barely had any followers. So if we can get these kids followers, and they're all going to go to college. I mean, I'm going to have a couple kids from this team over the next couple years go to college. Why not get them help them with those mini NIL deals? They're not going to get cars out of this, but Portillo's is worth it if we can, right?
No doubt.
Absolutely.
Hold on, let me tell my wife she needs to go to bed.
Yeah, absolutely. Go to bed. It's
Right.
funny, and those guys fit a category. I always mess with Matt Simpson because he's on Ball's Life, and he's
Yep.
doing all these TikToks thing. I say everybody likes the undersized white kid that just cooks. So I call them clickbait. So they're definitely, those guys are clickbait. So they could build a brand pretty quick.
They like the dunks too, but we don't always have that.
No, exactly. You got to build your brand, man.
3 a year. That's not enough posts for me on that one. Coach,
But you got to delegate it. Got to get somebody.
I know.
That's
I
it.
know.
Hey, Coach Mackey can do it. He's got it. Put him on the job.
Yeah, we'll talk to the 74-year-old guy about that.
Yep, he'll be awesome at it.
He'll be so good at it. He's still in Colorado, I think. I don't even know where he is. Coach, so you had quite a dynamic this past season, and maybe actually the past however many seasons Tate was there, right? You have an unbelievable player, ends up being a Division I player, who just so happens dad is a college coach. Can you elaborate on that situation and relationship, how that went?
It was absolutely unbelievable. Like, I wish every basketball parent in America could just hear this or communicate with Link and Kristen and just hear what they said. It was never how many shots, it was never how many points. It was he needs to play harder, he needs to rebound more, he needs to be a better teammate. He's not taking care of his body. And I'd be like, well, he's playing pretty good. He's getting some offers. He's kind of doing what he's supposed to. And it was always, nah, he could do more. He could do more. Now, they were always there at everything that they could be at. They were supporting. They were quiet in the stands besides Kristen cheering for everybody. There was always, what are you doing, Tate? It was never what the high school coach could do. Like, obviously, we ran a lot of stuff for him, but I also coached him about as hard as I could coach a human. And they were always just, yep, he needs to do more. It was literally phenomenal to be a part of.
That's one of the first things I noticed is how hard you coach Tate, and I quickly realized, they had trust in you because you were on him. I mean, he was your best player, but you definitely, if he made a bad decision or the play, it didn't go unnoticed, and so that's credit to you guys and establishing that relationship. So that's awesome to hear.
It was fun.
Bill,
It really was a lot of fun. And just to see him have his moment, which I don't think, obviously, he got the King of the Court or whatever it was from the FABC. MVP and stuff like that. But his Lakeland Center performance, I mean, that is, it was it was unreal just to see him have his moment. And then leading up to it, everybody's like, hey, coach, you got to find a dome for him to shoot in, got to find an arena for him to shoot in. Tate, you want to go to USF Sunday morning? Why? It's a basketball hoop. If the kids are nervous about shooting there, just tell them to pass it to me. We'll be fine. I was like, okay. Yeah, he's pretty confident.
He lit it up too. I mean, he was burying 25, 26 footers. It was awesome to watch. Awesome to watch.
Some of that white men can't jump action there. Like that's straight
Absolutely.
old school, you know.
It
It's
was.
like the look of the Irish, only I'm not Irish, so you figure it out. Coach, you did something, you've been doing something, you had a summer team with other schools' players. Like that just sounds absurd in today's dynamic that you would actually help other people. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I mean, it was one of those things where all those kids for the most part knew each other from playing with each other in previous AAU all the way down to I think Jay and I think it was I forget Jay and somebody else Jay and MJ had played in third grade together, even though they've never gone to the same high school. So they knew each other really well for the most part. And it was one of those things where it's like it's really hard to get kids recruited right now. Why not try something random slash new? I mean, I don't know if you guys know the Trent Markwith guy that's with Relentless Hoops up in Georgia, but he is a young talent evaluator scout that just he saw Tate I think it was 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. The first time we went to Georgia, walked by our court, saw him make two threes, I think, started recording, had a write up by the time we left the gym and posted on Twitter. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I wonder how he knows the kid. He didn't know him. He just trusted his eyes, even though he was only 5'10" at the time. Saw a smooth release, saw that he was younger, and just did a write up on him right away. And I was like, well, we've got to support scouts like that aren't just going in and talking about the top 100 guys. So I had reached out to him earlier in the spring. I was like, hey, if there's anything I can do to support you and what you're doing this summer, let me know. He's like, well, I did this little team camp last year. Let me know if you want to come. And we had several young guys. I thought they would have been burnt out because young guys on the road, they're not exactly sleeping. They're having their time of their life. And we were going straight from that thing right to Gainesville, that team camp. I just thought it was too much for our young guys. So I tossed it out to Fitz and McGriff. And heck, I wouldn't even say surprisingly, they looked at it, said, you think it'll work? I was like, I think there's a chance that something positive comes from it. Like, let's get these guys out there a little bit more. And they were all in. We made it happen. Luckily, I've got flexibility with our team buses. I get to drive it all the times. We made it happen, and I don't think they got anything directly out of it. I do think it helped when they got to Gainesville, and I think it helped when they got to Georgia, Bartow, and us. That are just the names were out there a lot more.
That's awesome that you had an opportunity to do that and it kind of unite. And I think that's kind of what's different about Polk County basketball. And I feel like you guys are maybe a little more united because you do have your transfers within your county. But I feel like for the most part, you guys are pretty close together as a unit. What do you say to that?
I think there's some I think in every area, there's gonna be some guys you're really connected with, and then there's some guys there's just a disconnect. But I think for the most part, we're all trying to I think it's just I mean, it's us versus the world is what our mindset is. We're football city, Polk, they're just football guys. Oh, they can't do this. And I just feel like our basketball is pretty good and let's make sure we're proving it every day.
Yeah. All right, coach, you've been awesome. I got some hot seat questions, so I'm gonna finish with some Polk County questions for you. All right, you got to answer them. So, all right, so this
All
is
right, let's go.
you can't skirt these questions. All right, so three tough ones to start off. All right, best team in Polk County this year. Who's it gonna be?
Besides us, I think Victory is the most talented team. They check every box.
All right, victory. All right, best player in the county.
Besides Toby Lane, I will go with
Coach, you could say Toby. I'm okay.
I mean, it's Toby. It's not even.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
even think
talking
it's
about.
close.
All right, here's a tough one. Best coach in the county.
That's Coach McGriff.
There you go. All right, man. I would have said, could you consider yourself there on all three of them?
No, he checks every box and he's still doing it. And to be honest, they're probably right there with Victory this year.
Yeah,
They're going to be really good.
they are.
Coach, this has been awesome. And as I mentioned early on, we could go on and on and on and on, but you're still at work. So I think you need to go home and make some edits.
I'm gonna go home, get my post ready for this weekend.
Yeah,
Get people excited about Santa Fe. Oh, I'm sorry, Fayway, because we're not Santa Fe this weekend. We're Fayway this weekend.
That's right. You're not allowed to be.
We're a U.S. amateur team this weekend.
Fayway,
aren't we all? We're Tampa Gold Rush, so we're getting out there.
Yeah.
So, Coach, thanks so much, man. We look forward to sharing this, and you were unbelievable, man. Thanks again.
Greatly appreciate it.